what are we? So what do you do? Do you know me? Show me what you can do. Mom just bought me a new pair of shoes, so I walk to the moon to get over my blues. If I mean nothing to you, will you make me put on my hands, yelling don't shoot? Tell my truth, see rare, run from blue. Swim in a sea, fly from the land on my feet, realize my own dream. I'm racing ahead of myself, full steam, tasting delicacies, make a scream for ice cream. When you look at me, I feel golden beams. Believe in me, and I'll show you what I need. Whatever we are, are we the cosmos, the stars? Are we the truth, the lies? The more we cry, am I your shoulder now that we're older? Do you need a hug so bad bugs don't fight? We are the love. Whatever we are, wherever you are, when I'm driving in my car, hoping you're not far. I'm coping with my lonesome, staving off this boredom. Will you lend me some comfort as I resort to writing out my hurt in the form of art, waiting in my guardian's angel's arms? We are, we are, we are. Do you know who I am? What am I to you? Do I deserve you? Should I ask, do you deserve me? When I ask for a hand, said to me, scram. So I feel like taking these shots to your dome, blam. Going to me, I'm Bill Withering, you use me up. Haven't I done enough? You tried to be tough, but I'm too smart, you cut me up. Fly away, I'm alive with my friends are angels, singing so soft. These books are right, will you check them out at the library? Write my checks, pay me out, I'll pay you off while I'm sitting here drifting off. My ribs feel broken from my heart breaking, aching cough. I'm gonna take the rain, make the heaven pray, drop it as a rain like the crowd. Drop it, oh, game began, ran from him, chased me down, do-si-do, pocket full of posy Play-Doh, while I boost my cash flow with my garden hose.
How to phrase.
How to phrase this, man? I need to say that. Okay, this was a different way to start the Dumonted Pod, don't you think, people? A music video, the We Are music video by the man Jules Findlay, and I got that cat right now on the other side of this microphone, about ready to lay it down for you where his head is at, where this song came from, where everything this maniac does comes from. And without further ado, Jules Findlay, welcome. Finally getting this fucking thing together that you and I can actually talk.
Let's go.
Right? You and I usually generally like tell people how we met, how my guests meet and I met. So we go back. This guy was an actor, or is an actor, but we met on set. And instantly we're like connecting on all kinds of different levels. And I think at the time I didn't know you were a rapper.
I don't think I knew I was a rapper.
Because we met on Spirit. Did we meet on Spirited? Was it before Spirited?
I think that's the one I remember. The 5 days of that Spirited in downtown Boston.
Yeah, on Devonshire Street, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the fake snow.
We were throwing eggs at Ryan Reynolds and shit.
Exactly. He's a good bobber and weaver from those things.
He bobs, weaves. It's because he's Canadian. He can.
Is that what it is? Oh, look at that head thing. How do you do that? Are you Canadian too? Is that why you can do that? I can never do that.
Yeah, you got to loosen up, man. It's isolating.
I love it. So yeah, man, and I didn't find out until then it was on Madam Web when we were working together on that.
Oh, that was a long week.
It was a bunch of long nights, but we're sitting on this bus, and all of a sudden you just start riffing, and I was like, "What is this, dude?"
Yeah,
and you're like, "Yeah, man, I got songs, and I got this," and I'm like, "Wait, what?"
I'm a rapper, dude. I'm a dapper rapper.
But and amazing freestyle. And I'm assuming that like We Are was written, or did you freestyle first and then write it?
So no. So most of my stuff is like written. So my background is like Shakespeare, right? That's
I was going to get into that part too, but
that's my acting background is a lot of Shakespeare. So I like the
writing
too. And directing. So the writing of a song, I feel lends more intellect, heart, and grounding in what story you're trying to tell. Mm-hmm. Freestyling is fantastic and exciting and amazing to watch and so cool. I love being around freestylists. I was at a festival and all that we were doing like for 3 days was freestyling, which is great.
That's awesome.
But I don't know if you can get such a like a heartfelt meaning across by just like riffing off the top, like that's my, like, and some people are great, like I don't quote me. I don't want to
well, I mean, maybe it's different because like I know what you were riffing to us on the bus.
That's just
was more comedy than it was.
Yeah, and that's so many different, just like so many different.
Can you riff drama as well? And I would imagine then that, the heart follows from there. No.
Yeah, I mean, like if you freestyle like some heart stuff, and it has to be like, for me, it has to be the instrumental. So like when I heard that We Are instrumental, that spoke like depth to me, like depth of feeling, like layers of feeling, like how everyone is alone but can be loved. Like that's what We Are is to me, is like how do we love more? Like we are the love, so
you are the love.
And so I was driving around listening to that song, and I was driving around with my mom, and we were listening to that beat because that's like all I've been doing for 3 years is listening to instrumentals and trying to make my own beats and listening to all types of stuff. And I was just like, I was just like, okay, sing We Are. just sing We Are. And she was kind of doing it in the car. And I was like, okay. And then when I got home where I record my music and stuff, and I was like, record that hook. I was like, just go, we are. And she did it like way bigger than I would have ever imagined. Like, I didn't know my mom could sing like that, you know, like, so, which is a beautiful thing. And then I wasn't able to, like, I had written the lyrics to that song when we had recorded her hook, her chorus.
Okay. And
then that was in 2022. And I've written it all, but I couldn't record it. I was like, I'm not there yet. Sonically, tonally, like in control of my sound as an artist yet. Because I've only been rapping for like a year. Started in 2020. At that point. Yeah. So it was like 21 to 2022. I've been rapping for a year, maybe recording myself for like 5 months. So like,
that just blows my mind even more knowing that. And I think I probably knew that then, but it slipped out of my head because you carried yourself in such a way, at least with the lyrical ability, and then in watching, you know, your ensuing recordings and videos and concerts and stuff like that have come out, you posted, you know, ever since that we met. You have a poise and a persona and a that's all genuine. So it's not like you're not like concocting some sort of, you know, some sort of whacked out thing just to be on camera kind of thing.
Right.
There's an honesty and an integrity with the words that you come up with and the songs that you create that blew my mind. That and you know that. I mean, I said that to you. I've been saying that to you for years. That I'm just like I don't get, like, I've worked in the music industry. This is for the listeners. And by the way, dude, we have listeners in Russia, Finland, the UK, and France.
Bonsoir, mon ami.
Very good. Yes. So but yeah, like, for those people that are new to the show and don't really know much about me, I spent many years working in the music industry. I was a music journalist for a long time. I managed bands, I booked bands, I roadied, you know, I did all kinds of different things within the industry. And I'm also a big music person in terms of like listening and ingesting and music. And there was something about you and your music and your lyrics that hit me unlike many up and coming starting out artists do.
That's really sweet to hear, man. I really appreciate that.
And it floored me. And I was just like, my God, I need to like do something to help. I need to get involved. I need to like somehow do right. We talked about that
need a team for sure.
But since that time, man, you've made some serious head. I mean, you played with Capadonna, right?
Yeah, Wu-Tang Clan. Let's go Wu-Tang forever. DJ Paul of 3-6 Mafia. Souls of Mischief. They were the Hieroglyphics crew. Did nonfiction, Ill Bill, and nonfiction. So a lot of experience in very short amount of time.
Yeah. And how does as I've described you in the past, and you don't look that way anymore. I guess you've gotten a little bit older, but back in the day when we first met, you were very cherubic, like this. You had this cuteness about you.
Oh, I'm still there, Pop. Still there.
And I would tell people about you going, to look at this dude, you would never believe that he was as talented as he was, because he's this cherubic white dude that just cute as a button, but yet he spits some shit that's just amazing.
Yeah, I think that's part of the allure is like, well, look at this little white boy walking on stage, and then I rap and they're like, holy shit, he really did it with all his heart. You know,
I mean, was that the reaction from like a Kappa and others that have achieved levels of?
I opened for Capadonna in Fitchburg, and so I was like one of the first to open, I think. and they had pushed everyone in the bar outside to like make sure the tickets were right.
Okay.
Right. So everyone went outside.
So you're playing to nobody?
And they're like, yo, go, Jules. So I'm like, fuck it. Call me in a minute. You know, and I did my thing for like 10 minutes with like barely anyone in there.
Nice.
But one of the people that was in there was Inspector Deck from Wu-Tang. And one of my homies, Nate All-Star, who's performs with Wu-Tang and shit. He was like, yo, Inspector Deck, like your stuff. And I was like, dude, could I like meet him or whatever? And he's like, yeah, bro. So he walked me over to Inspector Deck. And I've been listening to Wu-Tang and Inspector Deck for like my whole life, like 25 years probably. And I walk up to Inspector Deck and I was like, yo, what's up, man? He's like, yo, you did your thing, bro. Good shit. And I was like, okay, cool. If he can say that, then yeah.
Yeah, that's
and then, like, but then there's like, you know, you perform for like, 50 people and like the crowd is like excited about what you're doing. And that means a lot. Like, I don't think if I did this and the crowd was like, yeah, okay, I don't think I would try to keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, obviously getting that anointment blessing, if you will.
Yeah.
From Inspector Deck. I mean, that's monstrous, right?
Yeah. Or just like just the homies in general. Like I'm like in a rap group now. Rock Stars Live Forever. And there's like they love my stuff. Like my guy Supra, we did an interview and he's like, when Jules is with us, he does like rap. He raps with us. But when he's on his own, like I don't even know what to call that stuff. You know, so there's breaching of.
So like, how did let's spin the wheels back in time, man. How did you get and what were your original inspirations? Like where did all of this come from?
Yeah, so I've been listening to rap and hip hop since I was like, you know, Salt and Pepper, like 1994. I remember listening to that in the diner, or like MC Hammer. You know, just like constantly listening. And like,
did you ever go back to the OG though, to Curtis and Grandmaster? And
I went back to like the 70s and all that shit, the Message and all that stuff for sure. Yeah, early 80s and like LL Cool J. I was super into Slick Rick a lot.
Yeah,
big time into Slick Rick.
But that was the era. That was the era I was listening to.
Right, for sure. And like I appreciate the Beastie Boys. I appreciate the Beastie Boys and like Rick Rubin and all that stuff.
Yeah. You know? Oh, by the way, did I tell you this? That the Beastie Boys stole my thunder?
Yeah.
Like me and my buddy back in high school.
You were the Eastie Boys.
Yeah, we were gonna be the first white rappers, and then all of a sudden Beastie came out. And we're like, oh, all right. Now what are we gonna do? Oh, let's go smoke some weed.
Yeah, better idea. Like all the other white rappers.
Exactly. But we had no game anyway. But that's all right.
And then being a kid, just like driving up to Canada because my mother's Canadian. We would drive up the New York Thruway and stop at like in Troy, New York, and my brother would be getting like the Dog Pound album. You know, like Corrupt and Daz and Snoop Dogg and stuff. And my mom put this album on. I tell stories about this. This is a motherfucker. And my mom would like eject the cassette tape and like tried to throw it out the window, but it just like hit the window. And it was just like, yeah. Nice. And me were like, yep, that's the genre we're definitely going to listen to for the rest of our lives.
And now she's singing on your album.
Oh yeah, now she's singing on my album.
I mean, that's
okay. So let me get back to that. We are recording that. Yeah. So we recorded that 2 years ago, and then I was like, my sound's not ready. So then finally, this past, I think it was April, I was like, finally recorded my verses, and so that was a big like journey of that song to finally complete it. And then, so I signed to this publicist, Big Noise, down in Rhode Island. And he's worked with Christina Aguilera and Red Hot Chili Peppers and Smokey Robinson and like Dionne Warwick and stuff. And like doesn't do hip hop stuff. And was like, I sent him my stuff. My mom found this guy online
Yeah.
Like mom, the manager, you know,
There you go.
and was like, "Hey, send your stuff." And I sent my stuff, and he called me back, and he was like, "Let's do something. Let me give you a call in 6 months." So I was like, 6 months? Okay, sure. So he gave me the call back in 6 months, and then he's like, "I want to, you know, start working on your music publicity."
That's very,
So, and
very
that was
cool.
like, so I gave him like, I don't know, 10 songs and a music focus group, and they really like this "We Are" song. Like they chose that song as the song to promote. So they're like, can you make a music video? And I was like, yeah, I can make a music video. I can also edit it, and I can do all that. Like, I'll
Because you
shoot
are
it.
a man of many hats and talents.
That's right. So learned how to do a lot in the past 3 years, man. But like, I think COVID actually was like, because I was supposed to go to off Broadway for this play that we were doing in Springfield, Mass, for like 2 months, and then we were going to New York.
Yeah.
And COVID happened right in the run in Massachusetts in Springfield. It was like March 13th, and they're like, "You can't do this play anymore. Sorry, the world is shut down." And not being able to be creative for like a year, for like all of 2020 was like, I was like finding rocks in the woods and like just like doing some druid type shit,
which is very cool. That's gotta help. That had to have helped.
I probably helped,
Creative.
yeah. And then so I was like, I was on Castle. You remember that show Castle Rock on Hulu?
Oh yeah.
I did a couple.
Yeah, I spent a couple episodes on that as well.
Yeah, way too many days on that. But I met this kid Joe Rama, and we became friends and stuff, because you become friends on film sets. Like, look at me and you, man. Like, you just like bond with people over a lot of days.
It's an electric thing though.
It is
energy field thing where
really...
and I've said this, you know, multiple times on the episodes, and of course I've talked about it a bazillion times on sets. But there's always that, like, we were on a set that day. We had like 300 freaking background actors.
Right? Yeah, right. Yeah.
But gravitationally, it was you and I and a couple other people. We had to be together. It was like we were brought together for a purpose.
Yeah, we were
more than just being on that set.
Yeah, it was the Avengers, dude.
Yeah,
it was like, it was like,
yeah,
I'm Iron Man. Hi, what's up?
but that's I mean, and that's amazing.
So the connections that you build are really quite fantastic on a set like that. But I met this kid Joe Rama, and I would be making, like, during COVID, I'd be like making songs on like my Xbox headset on like BandLab and shit, and like recording them, and they sounded like crap. And I sent them to Joe, and he was like, "These are cool." And I was like, "Cool." And then I kept sending them, and he's like, "Hey, I know a producer in Springfield." And I was like, "Really? Awesome." He's like, "Let me send you his number." So he sent me his number, and I called him, and it was Avery on the Beat. And he's like, "Yeah, come and record." And Avery on the Beat is based out of Springfield, Mass, and he's a #1 Billboard producer, dude. But I met him before he started getting those plaques. So I like met him, and I was going to his grandma's house in this little fucking closet, and I remember recording Red Hot Ferrari the first day I met him.
Okay.
And we like be in this little tiny closet, like recording these bangers. And
we should make note. Just pause that for a second. We're gonna make note that all of these songs and every ability for you, the listener, to check out the music videos and the content and the ears and all the songs will all be in the show notes.
Yeah,
and subscribe.
Here.
And there. This is obviously also being recorded live. Not live. It is recorded live. But we're putting it up on YouTube too, so you can actually see Jules and you can watch the music videos and everything else that we're going to put on here.
Cool.
Now back to Avery and the Beat.
So we recorded Red Hot Ferrari the first day I met him, and then we just became like, I just would go all the time during COVID. You know, like I had nothing to do, and be like, I need to record some of this crazy music that I've been writing and stuff, and I have no way to record. I don't know how. So I spent like a year with Avery, just like soaking up everything. And then one day he's like, I need new speakers. These sound a little, you know, a little weird thing in them. He's like, you want these speakers? And I was like, yes, I do want these speakers. So I gave him old speakers, and he's like, go to Guitar Center and get a interface. because I had a Mac.
Yeah.
He's like, go get a mic, go get headphones, go get an interface, and learn how to use Pro Tools. And Pro Tools is a digital audio workstation, a DAW, like GarageBand or,
Right.
Logic Pro or whatever. But we use mostly Pro Tools. So then it like
Sponsor us, baby. Sponsor us.
yeah, Pro Tools. Hey, Avid, what's up? Auto tune,
Oh.
Antares. So then I just learned how to record at home. Like I'd still be going to Avery's, but he's like, "This is really important to you. Learn how to do this. Find your sound. Like you record so much music, just
yeah, dude. That was the other thing about you is that has blown my head open over the last several years is that you are incredibly prolific as well. Like every time I turned around, you're like sending me a message going, dude, check this song out. Dude, I got this. Here's 3 minutes. Here's fucking 45. Like just riffing all these things at me. I'm just going, where are you coming up with all this? Like it's beautiful.
Man.
It's beautiful.
The source, bro.
Yeah. No, seriously, man. You've been tapped in and tuned,
Yeah.
in tune. It's amazing and beautiful to see and hear. But then you go to shoot this music video for Where We Are, because we still need to talk about that video because people watched it at the beginning of the episode.
Right.
And so we're trying to figure out why was that video playing before the show.
So Big Noise has chosen that song as like a publicity. There's more to tell. I can't talk about it yet. There's an announcement that I have to make in a little while.
A couple minutes? Like, should we hang on the line here and wait for it to happen?
A couple months. Months down the road in October. Look for me in October. There's going to be cool. You should actually come out. I might have a little party for it.
I might actually be able to make something out.
Yeah.
That's the key is being able to make it, because I'm like 3 hours from you.
I hear you, dude.
And that's for the audience's sake. Like we have been talking about getting together and hanging out and me helping you or shooting something or whatever for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I'd come out to Boston and bust something out real quick. That'd be fun.
I'd like to try and get you in a show in Boston somewhere.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I'd love to. I know Bridgeside Cypher out in Cambridge.
Actually,
they're great guys.
You know what I can do?
Shout out Bridgeside.
Wait, all right, shout out Bridgeside, but we're gonna pause because I'm going offline because I'm having a thought and I don't want to lose it. And we'll be back. We'll be back in just a moment.
We'll be back.
Dude, UNH it's next month, so that might be too late. But Flo Rida is playing. Yeah.
Get me to open.
If I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna start looking into that. What's tomorrow? Saturday? No, what's tomorrow? Friday?
Yeah, dude,
I might be able to do that.
Wild. Yeah, that'd be great.
Able to do that.
Because
he just did Merrimack College a couple months ago at the end of last semester over there.
Yeah, I love Flo Rida,
which was put on a hell of a show. Except some of the girls there thought he was kind of creepy because he's like a 60-year-old man taking his shirt off and giving it to college girls. But
sure, but he's Flo Rida, dude.
But he's Flo Rida, yeah.
Bottom jean. I remember when that shit came out. I was a senior in high school.
Oh my god! All right, back to the show.
Okay.
All right, we're back. Sorry,
and we're back.
We're gonna cut that part out because you people can't listen to that. It's private, top secret shit that comes out only in October. But yeah. So anyway, this music video, and you're conceptually, you got a lot of content in that. How long did it take to shoot, and how like?
So that was conceptually like 3 years of me performing, like live shows. So when I started filming that, like I wasn't like, oh, this is a We Are music video for sure, But like the concept behind like the snow, that's like juxtaposed to me in the summer. There's a lot of juxtapositions in that. We are like nature versus like urban city, right. And like performance versus like recording or writing. You know, you'll see me in like a booth, or you'll see the mic against, you know, a photo, and that's like the recording part of it, and then you're to performance part of it. So there's a lot of different aspects, I think, and it lends to what like we become, like the evolution of what we are, you know, like
which is what by your vision?
well, like community, like developing this community like that I didn't have before. Like I can't, like we were coming out of COVID, like I didn't have any community. I was going to record with Avery and we were in like masks and stuff. And I would go into the closet and take my
your own
mask
auto
off.
tune.
Yeah, right. My own auto tune. So it was like, yeah, becoming together, you know, becoming love, what
Right.
love means. It's not just like romantic love, because so many people are caught up in like, do you love me? Oh, I love you so much, but I hate you. And like, it's mostly caught up romantic love. But like Greek, they talked about so many different kinds of love, like brotherly love, familial love, romantic love, platonic love, like love of a mentor, love of literature, love of nature. Like there's so many different types of love that I don't think we are capable of talking about right now.
I love that. I love that. So we'll go back into the idea of you being a Shakespearean actor and a director of Shakespearean plays, to correlate that into rap again.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about why you think it was such an easy transition. And if you can, do it in rap.
How about iambic pentameter? I think it's such well, it's not easy, but it is.
No, if it was easy, then everybody'd be doing it.
Right. But it is.
I would be doing it if it was easy, and I can't do it.
I think the transition was comfortable because it's performance and it's rhythm. Like Shakespeare was like the original rhythmic king, you know, ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. That's iambic pentameter. Like
Right.
not a lot of people know what an iamb. An iamb is a ba-bum. An iambic pentameter, pent, is 5.
Why don't they call it a ba-bum pentameter?
Right. Ba-bum.
You know, they have to change it up and go iambic.
So iambic pentameter is 5 ba-bumps, and that's the heartbeat. Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. And Shakespeare was great at knowing when shit was not right. Like if you look at Hamlet, to be or not to be, that is the question. That's 11 beats. So something was not right with him. Back to rap, I think the rhythm is super important. And Shakespearean performance, you have to be so in control of your rhythm, because the thoughts, it's not just the line, like to be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind's eye, just like, you know, there's lines, there's these thoughts. That's not one line. So you have to be really aware of breath control. And I think that as a rapper helped, you know, being a Shakespearean actor helped me be a rapper. And I think vice versa. I directed 12th Night at the Academy of Music in Northampton last year, and I incorporated rap in all my music, like all my production and all this stuff. So it was like a new way of appreciating Shakespeare, and I think, you know, Shakespeare would have loved it. You know,
I don't disagree with that. I think for me, like Shakespeare, for the longest time for me was very. I felt intimidated by him.
I think a lot of people
I was like, there's no way. Like, you know, I would see casting calls for different plays that local theater companies, community theaters, and whatnot were doing, and I'm like, no, I'm staying away from that. And that's way too deep, way too heavy, way too difficult. Blah blah blah. Until I did Sense and Sensibility, and my character Edward in that production, he was quoting from Shakespeare at one point.
Yeah.
So I actually had to spit out, I forget how long of a phrasing it was, but a little mini monologue of Shakespeare within the play, and it scared me immediately to see it on the page. But then as I started reading it and went, oh, this is groovy. This is way better than the actual script of everything else I had to talk about.
Totally. Yeah, Shakespeare's got some emotional depths that people can't even appreciate a lot.
And he's applicable
for every
more than just like you can put it in any situation. You put him in rap, in that I always go back to that film of Romeo and Juliet with DiCaprio and Claire Danes.
Yeah,
they put him in this like it fits everywhere.
Yeah, like I set 12th Night in Studio 54 in New York City, like in the 80s. It was just like a wild disco the whole time.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and you can do anything.
And you can do and with your rap, I mean, what do you generally tell the listeners before they start diving into your stuff? What do you generally write about, and how often do you get hit with inspiration to write? Like, do you, like, if I were to hold up this pair of sunglasses, these White Claw sunglasses, White Claw sponsor me.
Nice. White Claw.
Could you get a song about that?
Yeah. What about White Claw? Yeah. Like White Claw.
But like this is the craziest thing. Just like come up and go, I'm going to riff about this hair elastic or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, like some stuff will come like, I wrote a song about a ring pop.
Okay.
Like walking down the street, rocking a 40-carat ring pop, leprechaun, kiss this. I don't even remember. Like just random stuff. Like Pimp Juice. I have a video called Pimp Juice out. It's just like there's no hook, there's no chorus. It's just 3 minutes of me rapping about I don't know what. Yeah. Just like it's wild. Sometimes it's wild. Or like I have a song called like Deep in Toronto. Like I'm Canadian and I love my mother's from Niagara Falls and she went to U of T, University of Toronto. So we have like the deep love for Canada. And I wrote about deep in Toronto, and like, what does that mean to you? Like, are you deep in Toronto or are you being like meditative in Toronto?
Deep in Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would imagine Toronto's always a part of you. I've never been to Toronto, but I used to watch. Oh, it's not Toronto.
It's a soft
Toronto. Oh, it's a soft.
Yeah, Toronto.
Sorry. My apologies to the Canadians.
Yeah. Hey.
No, but I've always wanted to go up to Toronto. Sorry. Especially after watching, there was a TV show that came out of there that I really dug.
Suits.
No. It was a police procedural thing, SWAT team thing.
I always remember watching Due South.
I forget the name of it, but it was a great show. But the way that they shot the city.
Oh yeah,
a lot of aerial photography. I mean, it was
beautiful.
Just beautiful. I'm like, I want to go there. And Canada, in and of itself. I mean, I went to Ottawa once. And I swear you could eat off the streets because it was so clean.
So clean. It's such a clean city. Like Toronto compared to New York City, pretty clean. Sorry, New York. I love you.
We love New York and the film.
We love New York.
if New York was clean, it wouldn't be New York.
Forget about it.
Right? Can you imagine walking down the street and not seeing?
Oh, this is so pleasant and clean. Look at where are we? Must
this
be
is
Toronto.
Like empty emeralds. Oh shit!
Look at this.
I miss New York, man. It's been too long.
Yeah, I want to go. I was supposed to go to New York this weekend, but I got too much stuff going on.
It's been like 2 months since I've been there, man, and I miss it.
It's been like 6 years for me. Damn, I gotta get there. Take me next time.
Oh sure, like as an you could be my attaché on my
I'll just be your +1 in your bag.
Yes.
Hello, 'tis I, the rapper in a bag.
You just carry my bags. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm his bodyguard. I'm Kevin Costner, Whitney. I was
But
in
no, it
that
was-
Whitney. I was in that Whitney Houston movie. People are like texting me, and they were like, "Jules, your face is like huge in one scene." I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah, I remember seeing it. You were in the in a tux, right?
With somebody, I wanna be the heat.
Nobody said anything to me about my appearances in the film. Like I worked the
Were you
soundboard.
were you dancing though?
I was not dancing. I was working a soundboard with Stanley Tucci, and
Dude,
I also
Lil
played
Wayne.
paparazzi too.
Cool. Yeah, I
Which was a
miss
blast.
doing that stuff.
Oh, there's not enough of it going around right now.
I know.
obviously.
That's what I've since the strike. It feels like it's gone real slow.
Yeah, I mean, I've been busy though. Interestingly, like I've gotten quite a few gigs this year.
Mhm.
Most of it, again, Jersey and New York and Philly.
Right. Yeah, there's not a lot of stuff going
but-
on in Mass.
In Mass, in New England itself now, there was Dead City there, and
Mhm.
and it's
Yeah,
been
the
dead.
The Walking Dead. Yeah,
Since-
and then it's
yeah.
been pretty dead.
Yeah. Did you get anything on Walking Dead while we're talking about
I
it?
didn't. No, I didn't do Walking Dead. Helped film. So I helped film Money Game. Have you heard of
Okay.
Money Game?
Oh yeah. Lowenthal.
Yeah.
Julian Lowenthal,
Yeah. Uh-huh. So I
And
played.
he was my frat boy in one of in my third film.
Oh, cool.
was
You
amazing.
got him wasted. Nice.
Oh yeah, he was amazing. He was
Yeah,
absolutely
It
amazing.
was great. So I acted in that as a basketball player in a couple scenes.
Yeah,
which
that
was
makes
great.
total sense. What are you, 5'2"?
Yeah, I can dunk, dude, bro. 5'9", bro.
6'10" with the afro.
Yeah, that's right. They call me Snoop
Fletch.
Dogg. So and I was locations manager on that. So I learned a lot. That was like a month-long set, and that was a lot. But I filmed from that I met David Jester, and he got the rights to a Stephen King short film.
Yeah.
Like a Dollar Baby, right? And I went up to Maine and filmed that for like a week for the one for the road, and I wrote a song for that, and he put it in the credits, and we're gonna make a music video out of that in a couple weeks here.
Nice.
And then I shot this other film. So the play I was supposed to go to Broadway with before COVID, we turned it into a movie last year. So we shot it
Nice.
for pretty low budget, man. But we got like low budget. Not $1 million film, at all.
Would you shoot on stage, or did you actually turn it into a film?
Oh no, we like turned it into a film, and now it just came out on Amazon. You can go rent it or buy it. People in Russia.
What's the name of it?
It's called The Pitch. It just came out 2024, directed by Stan Freeman, and you'll see me there on the cover photo.
Nice.
But yeah, so that was pretty exciting, pretty thrilling. Hopefully that helps my acting reel. If you know any agents, send them my way.
I'm trying to find one myself.
Yeah, dude.
I got my dude in Hawaii, my company in Hawaii, but New York is still an evasive process.
Yeah.
I don't even really look in Boston, but
no.
At this point,
there's nothing in Boston.
I want New York. I want LA. I want Atlanta.
And you want it now.
And I want it now. I'm Jim Morrison, baby. I want the world, and I want it
now.
So speaking back to the music for a moment.
Yeah.
You don't only write rap songs, do you, at this point? Like you just mentioned writing a song for film. Was it a rap tune or was it?
Oh, so yeah, that song was set in like the 80s, right? This film was set in the 80s in Maine. But then I wrote a rap song to it. And it's like kind of like it's a little horrorcore, it's a Stephen King movie, so it's like about vampires and like being eaten and stuff, but there's some like Shakespearean references in that song and stuff, and it's really quite compelling. Like my publicist was like, dude, this is amazing. Like I don't know where you come up with this stuff, and I was like, it's for a movie.
Dude, I've been saying, I know. I'm with your publicist on that. I don't know where you come up with this stuff.
I don't know, man. I'm just
I want to show you something, and I want to see. Can you do a little riff for a couple of
Yeah, you can.
and
Yeah.
see what you come up with this dude.
What is this guy? Oh, yeah, I'm Santa and I'm Mana. I'm a hatchet yo ass so fast with this can of grass. My glass house is smashed. Rant, rant. What does he have in his hand? Oh, a mallet? Oh,
He's a
shit.
judge.
He's a judge, the Grim Reaper judge. I love that. That's creepy as hell.
Right? That was a
Yeah.
gift.
Is it
I love
cursed?
it. No, I mean, so where do you go to from here? Like, how are you able? You got a hell of a resume, right?
Yeah,
Are you plotting? Trying to get into the New York scene
for sure.
or
I'm trying.
Philly scene.
Yeah, I'm sending my
and
stuff to agents. That's kind of a hard game sometimes because if they're like, I feel like if they're not opening your emails, you're not gonna get seen.
yeah.
I think it's
Oh, do you have that little attachment to your mail that says
yeah, like my
we'll open
website and stuff and like
No,
all
but
that.
I mean that you can see when people read your email and not.
Oh no, I don't really
Oh.
care. I don't check like that. I just send my stuff and be like, if you're gonna look at me, then look at me.
Right.
I think actually, so the music publicist, I know it's music, but I am hoping with this, with the connections Big Noise has, Al Gomes has, that I'll be able to like work my way into this other side of the industry because
Sure.
the acting is so dearly important to me as an artist. It's like Shakespeare.
So you don't want to give up either.
No.
At all.
No, I'm not giving up either for sure.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear
Like
that.
I'm teaching acting right now. I teach at a prep school.
That's a scary
and I'm
thought.
starting, yeah, right. So I'm teaching.
Do what I say, not what I do, people. No.
Yes, exactly.
I'm sure you're amazing.
I'm like, act better, children. You 4-year-old, act better, more heart.
I've done a little bit of that myself with through VLAX.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's like
Don't know.
online high school.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Or actually online school up through
Cool.
up through 12. And
Nice.
I've met with like one-on-one with some kids who want to get involved in film in production and or acting or both, and kind of coached them a little bit, and they send me
Cool.
reels and like, what do you think of this? And I have to critique.
You're like, you're shitty. No.
Give it up now forever.
Yeah, no.
Oh wait, no, that's me talking to me. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're a fraud, Rick. No.
Yeah. No, but I teach like 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, and I'm gonna be directing plays all year for them and stuff. So that's pretty great.
Right on.
It's meaningful work. I notice how more important acting in my art feels when I'm teaching it, helping other people learn.
Why is that, you think?
I think because I've learned so many like skills that I don't even really think about like on a daily basis. But when I'm around like people who I want to see like grow, I'm like, wow, I know all these things. Like they should know this stuff too. Like I've been trained like Shakespeare and Company and Harvard and like Northfield Mount Herman and all this, like my own theater company that I've trained people. And I'm like, yeah, I need to keep like giving back. Even though I'm not making a lot of money with my own theater company and all this stuff, it's like I give back. That's like we are like the love, give back love. That's like reciprocating that type of energy. I think is more important than any type of money because money is just energy. Money's energy, but
money's the thing that this reality is constructed
right
for us to kind of
not feel so
have to have, yeah. Whereas the whole, like you're talking about, the energy transference, the education, the knowledge, the wisdom, that, and when you see, I'm sure when you see that in a kid, when they go up on the stage or they go up to do their monologue, rehearsal or whatever, and they do whatever they do, and you're just like, oh yeah, that's just amazing.
Yeah, when it's all works and it's all cohesive, and they take what you're training them to do to heart,
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's a very fulfilling feeling.
I've had a similar but different experience with young people through the sports. Like I used to coach my
Yeah,
kids' baseball and softball and basketball
for
teams,
sure.
and same kind of response, like watching them and imparting something to them about, hey, this is how you get down to catch a ground ball. This is whatever, and having them get it and seeing them get it and seeing them perform it and do it, and it's like, yeah, you did something there, you know.
Yeah, you growed them.
I growed them. Yeah, only 3, but technically.
I played football and hockey and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So, getting back to you, did you grow up in Canada, like in Toronto or outside of Toronto? Toronto?
Western Mass. No, but
Okay.
we would go up. Yeah, we would go up all the like 5 times a year up there to Nana and
family wise up there, or just
Nana, the grandparents for sure.
Yeah,
the Canadian grandparents. Yeah. My grandfather was in World War II as a sergeant for the Canadian Army. So he was doing his thing, dude. Before America showed up.
do you parlez-vous?
Comme ci comme ça. No. I took French in high school and college, but I can understand it quite well. I can't speak it fluently.
Right. I took 2 years of it in high school, and I have phrasings, but that's about it.
Yeah. I'm
sorry to my people, to the listeners of France. I wish I knew more.
Pamplemousse, cool.
What?
Pamplemousse. It's grapefruit in French.
Ah, okay.
Je voudrais un glace de pamplemousse.
Now, is Toronto one of the a French-speaking city?
No.
Or
So
is it
Ontario is like English Canada. Quebec is French. Yeah.
Once you get up
Quebec,
that way.
Yeah, Quebec's always like, we do not want to be Canadian. Suck me blue.
Nice. So, all right. So you grew up in Western Mass. So you've been a mountain person pretty much all your life. Right, Berkshires, isn't that where the Berkshires are?
Berkshire, yeah, the Berkshire foothills start
Berkshire.
Where I live. I know they corrected me when I went to Shakespeare and Company when I was like 18. I'm like, oh, the Berkshires, and they're like, it's the Berkshires. I'm like, okay, you must be from Lennox. Eating up Berkshires.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Tangle this.
So how I mean, actually, that spot of Massachusetts is not a horrible place to be because you have pretty decent proximity to Boston and New York, and Hartford.
It's hard. It's far from New York. Like if you're like, I'm gonna go to New York, you're like, that's 5.5 hours.
It's 5.5.
Like traffic. Dude, by the time you can speed and get there in 4, but like if you hit traffic, you're like,
because it's 5+ for me.
Right
from the seacoast of New Hampshire.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's gotta be better. I'm like better shot down 91.
I know, but I'm right next to New Hampshire, and it takes me like 25 minutes to get to 91.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, there's nothing out there anyway.
No,
lots and lots. So, what did you do as a kid? Like, I mean, I hear you listening to rap music, but
I just listened to rap. That's all I did.
Rap. That's
just rap. Yeah.
Put it on your Walkman. Did you have a Walkman or Discman?
Oh, both. I had a Walkman for sure with the cassettes and stuff. Yeah, definitely had that. But then
I gotta tell you, when those things, we had no idea what the hell they were, right? Because they hadn't come out yet. But my buddy's dad used to travel to Japan for business because he worked for a company called Digital, which was like the precursor to like IBM and fucking Microsoft and all that crap. But he came back one time from Japan with a Walkman. And we were just like, what the
is that?
You put a tape in that and you could play tape and walk it. What? This is amazing. Oh, it was a trip and a half. And then of course, it exploded.
Right. And then it was like, the CD Walkman,
which suck.
Yeah. Shit.
CDs don't skip it. They don't scratch. Yeah, thank you for that. Bye.
But then it was like, yeah, then in the like the MP3 player and like the fucking iPod. You know,
Yes.
that was wild, dude. I had so much shit on my iPod. I think I still have it somewhere. Yeah. Have so much
Yeah,
stuff.
now it's all about Spotify and Pandora and
Oh, I know, and it's like no
iTunes
one
and
pay
iHeart.
like you don't get paid for it through Spotify really unless you're like really really big.
Right. But I do pay for Pandora.
Okay, cool.
I do because I do feel, and that's the only place I listen to music. I don't listen to music
On
on Spotify.
Pandora.
Yeah, I
Oh,
listen
okay.
to podcasts on Spotify,
Yeah.
but I don't go music on
Right.
Spotify. Just
So thanks for buying my music on iTunes, man.
yeah. I mean, obviously, I mean, I used to buy a lot of music, obviously in
I
stores and
know.
whatnot.
No one.
But
Yeah, I miss CD stores, dude.
oh, there was a great one. I mean, Strawberries. That chain
Strawberries,
Strawberries was all over the place.
Fye.
Newberry
Yeah.
Comics was
So
everywhere.
tune it up.
It's just crazy how it's diminished. I mean, making a little bit of resurgence with vinyls coming back, but
Yeah, it's sad though.
it's still it's I crack up though every concert I go to, you know, because I do that side hustle as a concert
Yeah.
security, and I see it at the merch table them selling vinyl, and I'm going,
How are you going to carry
like
that out?
like $35 for a vinyl, and they
All right.
they'll bring it into the show and like wave it
Yeah.
around, like okay, all right, more
Can you
power
play
to you,
it?
man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird thing trying to make money in the music industry right now. It's yeah, you definitely have to be you have to get on placements like Avery on the beat, you know, getting on placements like Billboard placements. And that was
Yeah.
really hard. That was a grind for him. He's been making beats for years, you know. And just like going down to Atlanta and being in certain rooms and getting like on a beat on a track by a well-known rapper will like help your trajectory and stuff, you know. But it is like, yeah, it's a hustle. Like me opening for Capadonna and stuff, you know, hasn't made me like a
Hasn't
household.
gotten your headlining show at
No, yeah. But I know
House of Blues.
I know, and that's the thing. I know I could like perform like huge. I know I could perform in front of a lot.
Dude, just watching some of your shows, and I'm not going to diss anybody by name, but there was a show that I worked a couple years ago now, where this dude just showed up and completely mailed it in. You know, he like
Right.
a 45-minute set. He was the headline. Everybody came to see him,
Right.
and he just
Nope.
no, and it was like, dude, seriously?
Yeah, right.
And I thought back when watching him do that in front of 5,000 people or whatever. I think it was 5,000, maybe 7, but it was a pretty decent crowd. And I thought back to the early 2000s when I produced a concert at this place called the Stone Church in Newmarket, New Hampshire, which is kind of it's one of New Hampshire's legendary music venues, historically speaking. And at the time, I brought 3 of the what were most critically acclaimed bands out of Boston to come play. And I dubbed the show From the Hub to the Hill because the place sits on Zion Hill, and Boston is referred to as the hub,
right?
New England. So my thinking at the time was musicians, their growth, step-by-step growth thing is generally speaking, you grow up at Squam Lake, New Hampshire, like Aerosmith or whatever lake it was they grew up on, but in the sticks of New Hampshire. And then to get national, you have to make it to Boston, and then you have to crush it in Boston, and then you go national or international.
Right.
So where these bands were already crushing it in Boston, they're Boston based, but they're crushing it down there. And I figured, okay, music lovers up here, this place is legendary, it's going to be a cool thing. Nobody showed. You know, it was literally like a family and friends kind of concert.
Shit.
And but these artists, these musicians, left everything on the stage.
Yes.
I mean, they fucking bled.
You have to
for the 20 people that were there,
for sure.
And it was amazing, and it was it was horrible to see this professional, this higher end artist, well paid, whatever, just come up and smoke a big fatty and walk around and go, I'm done, and walk away.
Really?
Yeah,
That sucks.
That's horrible.
Yeah,
but,
I would never do that.
But you're not. I mean, clearly you're not that type of person. You just talked about, a little while ago about your empty venue, similar show that you had.
For sure. Yeah.
But you put it in, and look at what you got. You got the nod. You got a nod, man.
Yeah, things are cooking, man. Things are for sure cooking. Like I'm trying to, I really want to, I want to start like a live band, like rap with like a band supporting it.
Right
like
on.
The band supporting
sure.
it. So I've been talking to my friend Chaz, who I went to high school with, and he's up in Vermont. But he came down to Megaland Studios with my guy Bugs, down in West Springfield. And he brought his like saxophone and his trumpet and his keyboard. And so we made like a song from scratch, and
That's
he was
cool.
like, well, like, tell me like what's down here. And then I was like, okay, with an engineer there, we were like structured it into an actual beat, and then we made an original, like I sang, making a hook and a verse, and my friend came in and dropped another verse on it. And it was like, wow, we just made a song out of nothing. We like, there's no pre-made.
Awesome. I want to hear it. When can I hear it?
Yeah, it needs some work. I got some work on it to do, but I might send a little peep to you.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I won't release it on the show. Sorry, people.
No.
You have to wait. But that's very cool. So that's in the works. So you're in a perpetual state of creating, moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And just letting do you feel, in the creative sense, do you feel as though, or do you try to control what's coming out of your head onto a paper or through a microphone, or what decisions you make, or do you kind of just ride and see where it's going?
Not really what I'm recording or what songs I'm making per se. I don't kind of control that. I kind of just like flow with what I'm feeling. But then after they're recorded, I'm like, okay, well, that can be a single I can release like next month because the time of year is right for that type of song. Or like those 7 songs are a cool little album that I could put together. Like the Jules Live Blues album I made just this past May was like a lot of kind of more serious songs than like what I had released before. So it's like yeah, so it's like thematically different sometimes, like what vibe you're in. I notice sometimes a year, like I write more profound or sorrowful songs versus like party songs or like, funky songs or something like that, So when I'm recording a song, there's not really like when I'm in the studio with Avery and my guy Supra, J Super Smiles, we're in this rap group together, Rock Stars Live Forever. But when
can we find them on? Is that online yet?
So yeah, we haven't really released any songs as Rock Stars Live Forever. Me and Super have an album coming up, but you can listen to J Super Smiles on Spotify. You can listen to me on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, YouTube, all that stuff. Just search Jules Findlay, Jules Findlay.
So we'll put all that in the notes as well.
Cool. When I'm in the studio with Avery and Super, like we'll just listen to random beats, and like, oh no, that's not it. Oh, that's it. Oh, that's cool. All right, what are we saying to this? And then it just kind of flows. It's like a very organic kind of songwriting creation.
Now, did you have like a music background? Like anybody in your family push you, like? Were they musicians or singers, or other than your mom?
My mom was my mom was an artist. She was like a musical theater singer, and she was a professional ballerina. Like she's like doing her thing. Yeah, so there was that influence.
So there was art in your world.
Yeah, there was definitely art, and she sent me to a Waldorf school.
Nice.
I don't know if you know. Yeah, I don't know if you know.
I'm familiar with Waldorf.
Yeah.
There was one when I was a journalist. There was one in Wilton, New Hampshire, or is one in Wilton, New Hampshire.
Yeah. It's great.
And I got to, because of that location, the filmmaker Austin Chick came out with a movie called XXXY, and that starred Mark Ruffalo.
Nice.
And I got to interview both Austin and Ruffalo
Nice.
because of the connection to Waldorf. So, and my
Yeah, Waldorf.
that
Was a
worked
great,
out really nicely.
That was a great education. That's how I started acting. Was like Alice in Wonderland.